Hey, my guys, welcome to episode 8 of the My Guys Magic Podcast. I'm Pete Williams. I'm here with my buddy Joe Dixon. Say hey, Joe.
Hey guys.
Uh, we just got back from Vegas 2 days ago, the RC, and today we're going to be talking about. There was actually 4 RCs this weekend, so we're going to be talking about that, and then we're going to be talking about our RC preparation and our experience in Vegas. So, with that, I'm going to hand you over to Joe. He's going to run through the data from the 4 regional championships.
So there was the USRC in Vegas, 1,396 players. The European RC, almost 1,200 players, one short of 1,200 players exactly. There was the Japanese RC in Yokohama, Japan, 424 players, and the Canadian RC, 372 players. So a little less than 3,400 players across those 4 tournaments. The US RC was won by Titan. The European RC was won by Boros Energy, and then the Japanese and Canadian RC were both won by Jeskai Blink.
Jeskai Blink.
Yeah, so Jeskai Blink's still doing things, even though, it's funny, like Vinny kind of went to Izzet Metalcraft, which is what his team was doing,
Right.
and Ivan went to Gorios because he felt like it was better positioned to kind of high roll into a Worlds invite. And they even posted that on their social media. They're like, I think we're going to kind of play our pet decks. And obviously one of Vinny's teammates was able to take Metalcraft into the top 8.
Yeah. Well, and with the increased amount of Jeskai Blink players, Gorios is a great pick because
Yeah.
Blink has a bad matchup into Gorios.
I mean, that's what folks say.
That's what the data says also.
No, we looked at the data last week, remember?
Oh.
And it showed that Gorios was actually behind by a percentage point.
Huh.
Yeah.
I thought it was the opposite.
No. I might have misread it, but I mean we can look. Let's look again. Why not? We'll look at the win rates. So we'll just go to the last 15 days, and so Jeskai Blink. Oh, so yeah, 4% behind.
Yeah. Yeah, you were probably misremembering.
I could have been. All right. So yeah, so that's not a insignificant difference. So yeah, I think that's what the thought was there. But so then we compiled. So day one, there were basically 14% of the meta across those events was Jeskai Blink. 11% was Boros Energy, and then Titan, Affinity, and Prowess were all about 8%. Domain Zoo was 6%, and then in between, like 2 and 4% were, in no particular order, Gorios, Storm, Simic Ritual, Esper Blink, and Belcher, actually. So Belcher's still having a decent representation. And then there was, a number of other decks that kind of all lumped into the other category, 28%. Probably missing some relevant archetypes here, but we only dug down into the top 8 percentage of these lists, so we're really only looking at the top 8. Pete has some other data on standby if we want to look at win rates and things like that as we go through our discussion. But so for top 8, again, so 2 of the 4 RCs were won by Jeskai Blink, 1 was won by Boros Energy, and then 1 was won by Titan. So there were 6 Boros Energy and Titan decks in the top 8 of these 4 events, so about 20% of the top 8. There were 5 Affinity decks, 16% Jeskai Blink. Although it won 2 of them, it only represented 13% of the top 8. And then Prowess had 9%, 3 decks in top 8 across those events. And then Belcher, Domain Zoo, Esper Blink, Grexis Mid, Izzet Metalcraft, Jeskai Ascendancy. So like Jeskai Ascendancy made it into the top 8. Kind of goes back to our earlier conversation about, maybe there's something to that deck.
Yeah.
1 Simic Ritual. So even though, Simic Ritual kind of seemed like this breakout deck at the NRG a few weeks ago, didn't really kind of pan out, but still put up some results.
Yeah.
And then Storm.
Positive win rate also.
Yeah. we were just talking about Gorios. Unfortunately, Gorios 4% of the day one meta didn't put any decks into the top 8 of any of the RCs. So
Yep.
something interesting to talk about there. But so I don't know. I mean, I think this Grixis mid deck. Pete wanted to play Grixis mid going into the tournament,
Yeah, I did most of my testing leading up to it with Grixis mid.
and then I once
Talk
again
talked
talked
to
him talked him into not trying to play it. But
Yeah, I talked to one of the Canadian guys, helped me with sideboard mapping. I was all set to go, and then I had reps with Prowess also, and we just figured that was a better deck to take into the field.
yeah, I mean, I didn't have a lot of reps with Prowess, but we had some test games together, and then I kind of did some gold fishing with the deck, and it was like, oh, I have 2 lava darts in my hand. My opponent's dead on
Yeah, you're
turn
dead.
3 because they each represent
Yeah,
whatever, like 6 damage or something crazy.
yeah. Look at your hand and look at your opponent. Say you're at 20.
Yeah, that was
You're dead.
one of the jokes of the weekend between Pete and I. Was like, oh, you're 20 life? Yeah, I think you're dead. Um, I actually didn't play Prowess at all in the tournament.
No, I played one mirror.
Yeah.
One mirror.
Okay.
Lost the die roll.
So yeah, I don't know. I think that the results more or less reflect how the meta has been trending, right?
Yes.
Like I don't think we saw any significant shifts leading up to the event, right? Like that, Jeskai Blink was still the most represented deck, still won most of these events.
Yeah.
We still saw kind of some of these, tier 2 decks, weirdo decks popping up and putting up good work.
Yeah, I should have played Grixis.
Yeah, just because it's
Just because the vibes, like Vinny
the
says.
vibes, yeah.
No, but it's pretty great, right? Jeskai Blank had what, a 47 point some percent win rate across the 4 RCs and still
Yeah.
won 2 of them.
It's like Jund.
Yeah.
It's basically like modern Vold, right? Like there's, you play a 49% mid range list and you still get a bunch of them winning, right? Just because
Yeah.
so many of them are played. So yeah, Pete, what did you play? Let's talk about kind of our lead up in terms of preparation going in and how we arrived at our final deck list.
Well, a few
you
days
can start.
before I decided to play Prowess, right?
Yeah.
So did some testing. I had already ran some leagues with it previously, and the deck's just great. You can win on turn 3, and figured I'd get some breaks playing not a mid-range grindy deck going
Yeah.
to time, which I mean, even if we went to time and finished at 50, we would have had another 30-minute break anyway after the round ended.
Right.
But so I had a lot of long breaks. The deck felt nice, even though it had a 48% win rate across the four RCs. Uh, the deck's just fast. You can win out of nowhere, like Joe said. You just draw a lava dart, and you're like, oh, you're dead.
Yeah.
But I still just beating myself up, right? Because I did all this testing with Grixis. I should have just played Grixis. I love flipping Tameo, but the deck did work, right?
Prowess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Prowess did work, and lost my winning in
Today too.
to day 2. Yeah, just disheartening happening again, but then I look, afterwards. My opponent in round 9 is in the same position, so happy for him that he made it. He did a decent run afterward. Also, it's a Neo form Affinity.
Crazy.
So he just put
Seems
a bunch
so
of
fun,
blockers,
dude.
and I don't have trample, and then he just Neo form.
Yeah. Here's a Griselbrand. Have fun. What was the other? Oh,
Craterhoof
Behemoth.
Behemoth, yeah.
That's so.
So I just
good.
make a bunch of constructs and get Grizzlebrand, get Craterhoof, and
Yeah, that's sick.
yeah, I can't beat that with prowess.
Yeah.
I don't know how many. I had two meltdowns. Didn't see any of them, but I don't think it would have mattered at that point. So
Well, especially because he like Meltdown is good against like the affinity lists that are playing a bunch of small dudes, but
right, and
like the
he's
traditional affinity, it doesn't seem like
yeah, he was
spectacular.
playing Sojourner's Companion, Thought Monitor.
Yeah, all those big things.
Yes, yeah. So I was
Where
like,
like Meltdown kind of looks silly against those, you know.
yeah, turn 2 Thought Monitor and turn 3 Grizzlebrand. It's, it's, it was pretty sick. I complimented him on the deck, but I guess that was a deck that people had been playing before.
Yeah.
He probably made a couple changes, but it was it was a good experience. And
How do you feel like you played overall? Do you feel like you misplayed anywhere, or just kind of would run out of gas and your opponent would like take over? Or
yeah, probably a mixture of both. You know, I kept some questionable hands at some points
yeah,
when I should have mulliganed. Things could have went different. You know, I just need to work on that, work on mulligan decisions, and not just keep hands with lands and spells. And I can't remember any particular spot where I may have misplayed, but I'm sure I did. Um, could have played tighter, but definitely my mulligan decisions need to improve. So,
yeah,
if someone out there wants to help me with that, I'm here.
for sure. Yeah, I mean,
How about you?
yeah. So I was working on that Jeskai Ponza deck list and like put a bunch of time into that, testing with you, and um, you know, like went through a lot of trouble to try to get the 4 Wanchi Tong in preparation for the tournament, you know, being distracted by shiny objects. But then I
We
think the
ended up getting
day,
8 total, right?
yeah, if we wanted to play, we had all 8 if we were gonna, you know, really pull the trigger on it. But I think that final day before, we were like, this really isn't like that great. Like I ended up playing Wanchi Tong against like a Tron player, and they smushed me. And I thought that that would have been like a pretty good matchup with like
Yeah.
the counter spells, the main deck land destruction, you know, having consign out of the board, just trying to like keep them off mana and then like counter their impactful spells. But the deck I don't think can close, and then it doesn't have enough. It's it's kind of like the typical control ish problem. If things don't sequence out correctly, like if you don't have a proper concentration of land destruction to like take them completely off of that resource, or like you don't have a good mix of interaction to like maybe just hit a couple Tron lands or a couple key bounce lands if you're playing Titan, and then like interaction at the right spots, you just get, you know, they eventually like draw out of it and take and like do their combo thing, or
Yeah.
like take control of the game with Tron, and you're not necessarily closing quickly. Now the games where it was like Wanchi Tong on 2 in response to them searching or fetching, and they didn't have an answer for it, and then I was able to like protect it and draw a couple more cards off of additional land structures. Like, yeah, that's nuts. But I think we ultimately just decided it was
Too
not
cute.
worth the risk to.
Yeah.
I think that there's probably still something to the deck, but you know, I didn't have the time. So I ultimately decided to play Affinity. I kind of looked at the data. It was the deck that I had some reps with. I had it built, and it just kind of seemed fun. You know,
Yeah,
it's
the
like
deck's great. It's
doing the
fast.
nutty stuff. Yeah, I was like, I think I'm gonna just try this. And
How many turn 1 Kappas did you get?
I played Kappa on turn 1 twice this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, like my best hand of the entire weekend was on the play against Boros Energy. They played I think they played a Ocelot Pride on 1, passed. I played Kappa and had 1 card left in my hand. I had 2 Mox Opal, so I had to kind of cycle through a Mox Opal, but whatever. And then passed. They played a second land, played a Johnny, passed it back to me. Obviously, they weren't going to attack their Ocelot Pride into my Kappa,
Right.
and so they just passed it back to me, and then I whip flared on 2.
Nice.
so
Perfect.
so kind of quickly buried that opponent. But another game, I played Kappa on 1 against Titan. Again on the draw, played a Kappa on 1. But it required me to commit an EE on 0 to the battlefield.
Yeah.
And I was really worried about them having, multiple Amulet of Vigor. So they go turn 1, Urza Saga, Amulet of Vigor. And so I know on their turn 3, after my turn 2, they can go off. If they can get second Amulet of Vigor off of Urza Saga.
And just go and just
then
win from there.
And then win from there. But, my hand would have been very clunky because I wouldn't have been able to put Kappa to the battlefield on turn 2 because I would have had to obviously play EE on 1 and then hold up 2 mana to activate it on turn 2. So it would have been like a really clunky hand. I basically wouldn't have been able to play Kappa until turn 3, which maybe would have been the right decision anyway. Because obviously on turn 3 they got the second amulet and went off.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. So it didn't. I think it was the right play to do that because we've talked about again and again and it happened to me like numerous times with Titan, where it's like, well, if they have it here, I'm dead. And my opponent would have like 1 land in hand. They have like 2 amulets in play, but they have maybe they have like a couple blockers, or I think at one point they had like a 6 in play, but they had 3 mana available, 2 amulets in play, 1 card in hand, draw for turn, and they drew Lotus Field and had Green Sun Zenith and were able to go off.
That's it.
So, hey buddy, say hi to the podcast. Come in here real quick and say hi.
Hi.
This is my son Emmett. He's just coming to say what's up real quick. But so we're recording. I'll come get you later, okay?
Okay.
Close the door, guys. Close the door. So, sorry about that, everybody. Just, kids on Thanksgiving break coming to hang out.
Trying to get in our closet.
Yeah,
What's going on there? They're trying to interrupt us.
So what were we talking about? Yeah, Titan.
You were talking about
just
Titan.
Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up making day 2. I had my winning in. My last round opponent was against Titan. I 2-0'd them. I think that my opponent got a little bit greedy one of the games where they were actually playing Cavern of Souls. So I have a Metallic Rebuke in my hand, but they get 2 amulets in play Titan, and then they go get I'm trying to remember exactly what they went and got, but I think they ended up getting like 2 Lotus Fields or something, and then go to play another Titan.
And you were able to counter it.
And I countered it, and then they have no lands in play. And I basically had and so now they can't attack, right? Because their second Titan didn't resolve, so they couldn't give their first Titan haste or continue any kind of loop.
Did they? And they didn't cast a pact,
They had like
right?
one. No.
Okay.
They had like 1 land in hand or 1 land in play or something like that. And I think I had like a I don't know. I think I was able to make like a big enough construct to block the Titan. Or no, I sink into Stupor the Titan.
Nice.
And so then they couldn't play it. I don't think I really had a lot going on in terms of like power on the battlefield.
That bought you enough time to.
Yeah, I think I had like some drones and an Arcbound Ravager on the battlefield or something. So yeah, I played 3 Arcbound Ravager and 4 full weapons manufacturing. My thought was the draws with Affinity, you really need a payoff. Either weapons manufacturing, emissary, or Kappa. And having that, 3rd or 4th weapons manufacturing allowed you to have these draws where you had a lot more material to just either have giant constructs, play Kappa, or, hit your munitions tokens with EE to like do a bunch of damage to your opponent. It's a good way to play into all these wrath effects like Meltdown, like Wrath of the Skies that people are bringing in. It's like, you want a Wrath of the Skies? I'm going to hit you for 8 with these munitions tokens. I think that the right number is somewhere between 3 and 4. I think that 3 Arcbound Ravagers is probably too many. You probably only want to play 1 or 2. But I mean, Arcbound Ravager won me a number of games because they might have had 1 or 2 blockers, but I had 1 or 2 more attackers with drones.
Yeah, that's great.
And I would just attack through and sack everything to the Ravager and put it on the unblocked creature. You have to play around removal in those spots, but I don't know. I just think the deck was great.
Yeah, I think that was a nice inclusion in the deck.
Yeah, but Titan ended up getting me a number of times, and Victor, I think, would be disappointed in me knowing the number of games we've had together, and I feel like how much I learned from him about how the deck functions.
How many times you play against Titan?
4 times.
4 times?
Yeah.
Through the 2 days?
Yeah, and I only beat it once.
Oh, wow.
And because I think one of the Titan matches, I don't think there was really much I could do. He had a really good draw, and I had to mulligan a few times, and he kind of just rolled me over.
Yeah, so I played against Titan twice on day 1, my first Titan opponent.
You beat it once, though, didn't you?
Yeah. It was 1-1 against Titan. So
Yeah.
my first opponent went to 3 games. I wasn't fast enough. He mulliganed to 5 games, 1 and 2. I took game 1. He took game 2.
Were you on the play game one?
No, he was on the play.
Okay.
So I went on the draw.
That's pretty good.
And then he won. He mulled the 5 game 2, and he won on the play. And then he just 6-7'd me a lot.
Oh yeah.
He was the one I was telling you about when he's
Okay.
counting down his opening hand. He's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and he mulled to 5. So he did that a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know, just some mind games maybe. So he got me in 3.
He saw your gray hair and knew he was gonna
Yeah,
try to mess with
yeah,
you.
trying to trigger me or something. But I loved it. And then my second Titan opponent, I won that one in 3 also. I was on the play. I won game 1 really fast. He comboed me game 2. And game 3... Yeah, it was game 3. I played Scalding Tarn and passed.
Yeah.
Right? I had Consign in hand.
Okay.
So he tried to play an amulet.
Mm.
And I consigned it, and then
That was it.
that was it.
Yeah.
He couldn't do anything else, and
Right.
I went off from there. And we talked afterward. He was I forget his name. He's a nice guy. He's Jesse something.
Okay.
The what's the name of that deck in standard?
What?
Oh, Golgari Roots guy. He's the
Yeah.
top aided. He top aided where with some RC with Golgari.
Yeah, I
Roots,
think that was
guy.
a couple RCs ago.
Yeah.
Standard RC.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy, and he's like, I knew I shouldn't have tried to jam that there, but
Yeah.
he picked up Titan for this event, and like many people did.
Yeah, you got to play. I think a good Titan. Not to say he's not good or anything, but I think
Yeah, he's a good
most
player.
Titan players probably I don't know. It would kind of depend on what's in his hand, but I think you could maybe play around the consign because if you're not gonna contribute to the battlefield
Right, then he
as a prowess player, he doesn't really need to, because I think you need a little bit more going on than he does.
right in hindsight he said he should
have waited.
waited.
Yeah, and I had some. I had so like I said, one of the Titan matchups I just punted, or one of the Titan matchups there was nothing I could do. My opponent was going to kill me. I had poor hands. He had good draws. 2 of them though, I made numerous mistakes along the way, and at least I was able to identify those errors. Basically, just to summarize the decisions that I made, it was, trying to commit to the battlefield and not hold up my interaction, knowing that there was a chance that they could just go off the next turn, and I just felt like, okay, well maybe, they only have 1 or 2 cards, maybe they don't have it. I can commit, and next turn I'll have interaction, and then this will allow me to kill them more quickly. Well, I passed and they killed me, right? And then one of the times I played against a Titan opponent, and I really made huge mistakes, it wasn't really that kind of a simple of a decision. It's like they have it or they don't have it kind of thing. It was like I consigned the wrong trigger, or I I had an EE on one. I was gonna blow the EE on one, play my Memnite, get a munitions token, and attack my opponent for lethal. They had a Vexing Bauble in play, so I like got excited. I cast the Memnite, and they're like, it's countered, and I was just like, oh no, like, and so I didn't have enough
You were one
lethal.
shy.
And I was only 1 point short. So stuff like that happened,
Yeah.
And then I lost to Gruul Brood They just kind of they had it all going on.
Yeah.
The 2 games they beat me, they had like multiple Brood Scales, and
Yeah, that deck
that dude was super cool.
did pretty well over the weekend through the 4.
Yeah, I played Boros Energy 3 times. I 2-0'd it twice, and then I lost to it 1-2 another time. And that time, my opponent played Vexing Bauble on turn 1, games 2 and 3.
Yep, I remember.
Yeah. And what's crazy is like game 1, I was not sure if I was going to play the Shadow Spear, and I was like so far behind. They had like so much power and toughness and so many threats on the battlefield. And I just like put a Shadow Spear on a giant construct and just started attacking them, and was like able to turn it around and win.
Yeah, Shadow Spear's nice. That's
Yeah.
definitely like the matchup you need it for.
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah, Energy had a nice resurgence this weekend.
It did. But we've seen Boros Energy having really solid results, right? Like I don't really think it's like it was still
I don't know,
like the
didn't it
second most
fall-
represented deck.
Yeah, but didn't it fall off in Houston and before that maybe?
I think it had dropped down, but I want to say it was still one of the most represented decks. I mean, I think so. What in Houston, the Blink decks were the most represented, and then Titan, and then I think it was Boros.
That was Gorios. No.
I don't not in Houston. I
No.
think at the PT Gorios was the most represented deck,
Right.
but I don't think in Houston. And I guess like the one interesting match I had of the weekend is my round 1 opponent was Joe Gwynn. Joe Wynn, yeah, and he actually made top 8, so that was kind of
that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, I beat Joe, San Francisco guy, Bay Area guy. He was playing Esper Blink. Game 1, unfortunately, he mauled to 4, so we kind of had an odd game.
Yeah.
I played like a cap on 2, and he didn't really have anything going on.
Yeah, you can't do much about that.
No, and
4
then
cards in your hand.
game 2, I ended up mulliganing to like 5, and he, kind of did like the turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Felia into
Overlord.
no, not Overlord, into
Riddler.
I was like, all right, you got it, bro. And then game 3, on turn 3, I drew Blood Moon off the top, and as he passed, I'm like, I think a Blood Moon would be pretty good right here.
Yeah.
And I was like debating, because I played Saga as land for turn, and I was like, well, I could be like greedy and wait to get this Blood Moon out.
Too.
And I was like, man, that kind of seems pretty greedy. Like, this guy's on a Blink deck. He has an island in play, and then no other basics. Like, I'm going to just slam this and see how it goes. And it just totally won me the game.
Yeah,
Like,
keep them all white and black.
Blood Moon just won,
Because he was on the white heavy version, right? White and black. And
I want to say he
blue.
was pretty, less blue. I mean, his only blue cards were
Riddler.
Riddler and Frog, and then like maybe a little bit of interaction in
Okay.
terms of like consign.
Yeah, so cutting them off white and black is perfect.
Yeah, and what he showed me that he had a what's the Emperor or what the
Emperor Bones?
No, the Dragon card that there's the Dragon card that what's it? Clarion Conqueror. I said Emperor.
Okay.
Clarion Conqueror. Yeah. So he was gonna play that the next turn.
I always forget that's a dragon because it's so small.
Yeah, it's just a 3/3, 3/3 for 3. Yeah, so he showed me that he had the Clarion Conqueror. He said he was going to play that the next turn. So I think that he probably would have won if I wouldn't just slam the Blood Moon. been a little challenging to
Yeah.
try to figure that thing out. I mean, I had some outs to it with sinking a stupor, but I don't know. It's one of those things. But yeah, and then he went on the top 8, so good for him. Like to see him again and congratulate him once more in person. But yeah, overall, I went 6-3 day 1 and then 0-3 day 2. Just didn't really play pristine Magic at all points. Probably could have played a little bit better.
Yep.
Certainly could have prepared it a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I think, Pete, we talked about this. I think my learning point was, at least I do not have the time to be like pioneering new archetypes going into a modern RC.
Right.
I don't have the bandwidth for that. Like,
Yeah,
I
that
don't
takes a
know.
lot.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought, maybe I could do that. And I know, people are drawn. Some people are just like brewers, right? And maybe I want to be that, but the reality is like, I just probably shouldn't.
No,
until I have more
4
time.
kids,
Yeah.
and wife. You got a lot going on.
So I think, I sat down with Vinny Fino the day before. He's like a regular test buddy of me the day before the RC. And we just played a bunch of games, and he kind of helped me get some critical games to get warmed up with the deck to be able to day 2. And I think, we kind of were able to tune the list a little bit more, but I think I needed like 2 more days of that.
Yeah.
I needed like another 20 matchups.
Yeah, so what I want to do next time, because I do this all the time, right? I decide a couple days before. I want to pick a deck weeks before.
Yeah.
At least 2 weeks before, so I can get maximum reps with it and be as comfortable as possible. Because the same thing happened in DC, right? I picked the deck the night before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was settled on this Grixis list, and 2 days before, we decided I should play Prowess, right?
Yeah.
It's just was the better deck, I think, for the meta. But
And you did have reps with the deck, right? You
I
had
did.
The decks built. You had the deck built, right? But
yeah, but more focused testing.
yeah, running it through a gauntlet of some kind.
Yeah, because I didn't do that with Prowess, right? I didn't run it against the meta,
Yeah.
so I could have been more comfortable into Blank, into Boros. Yeah, I didn't test either of those matches.
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, and another thing, like I never wrote, I never wrote down a sideboard guide at all. Just never wrote it down.
Yeah, we were going to the night before, and then what'd you say? We're just gonna vibe it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I was like, I'm gonna just go to sleep.
Yeah, it was late. We're in Vegas.
Yeah, and we didn't. I don't know. We both were up pissing all night, like prostate cancer patients or something. I don't know what was going
Yeah,
on, but
The time
the
zone
food,
thing, and
yeah.
like what, Saturday morning we woke up at 3 o'clock because it's 6 here.
Yeah.
So, but that's no excuse. It was a good time,
Oh, we had a blast for sure.
and that's what, like, my favorite part of the whole deal is seeing everybody that I only see at these things, right? And hanging
Yeah.
out, and it's just awesome to see all those
Yeah,
guys.
got to see, Chris and Taylor were there. We didn't get to see them. Chris moved out to the West Coast about a year ago, maybe more now.
I think it's more than a year. Yeah, time's weird.
Jeez. Yeah, time is
What
weird.
what it even is time?
What is time?
Let's get it.
Well, let's see.
That'll be
Let's not
next-
have that.
that'll-
Yeah, the next episode.
Yeah,
of
next
My Guys
episode.
Magic Podcast. Metaphysical discussions.
What is
on
time?
What is time? Get out our pipes and put on our Professor
Our
robes.
smoking jackets.
Yeah, dude. Talk about time. So I don't know, Pete. What do you think? You think Modern's healthy? I think Modern's healthy. I
Oh,
think that a lot of
absolutely.
people complain about Titan.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, that's
obviously
what
it did well, right?
Yeah.
Like it.
Well, that's another thing I want to talk about. People, crying for Titan bans because of the round times, and I don't know if that's all Titan's fault, right? I don't remember an RC that we've been to where their rounds haven't gone 20 plus minutes over, no matter the format. Do you?
I think that there were some that were worse than others, right? Because like There was a Pioneer format where there was a lot of blue-white, and so there was a lot of mirror matches that take forever sometimes.
Right. It's just logistically with
It just happens sometimes.
1,400 people.
Yeah, you got 700
They're limited to
matches.
the number of judges they have, and
Yeah,
you know,
and sometimes it doesn't. It's just like the sequence of draws that lead to these really long and grindy games.
Yep.
Like one of the players doesn't get there, doesn't really get the ball rolling to win, and there's like a lot of back and forth that just takes forever. It just happens sometimes.
yeah. I'm not defending 20, 30 minutes over on round timers,
Yeah.
but
And I don't think
I'm just saying it's not all on Titan.
Well, and a lot of it is like you as a player have to know when you're beat by Titan. And I think all of the Titan players that I played against were fairly competent. Were not stuck in the tank for an exorbitant amount of time,
Right.
and like got to comboing in some direction.
Right. You're
right
not
away.
you're not on MTGO. You're not going to run
Right.
them at a clock. Just scoop.
Yeah, and so that's kind of the decision I made. Like,
But
there was one time where they had they had to take a very complicated loop line in order to play around some interaction that I might have had.
right.
And so I just had to hope that they screw up. And they didn't. And as soon as they didn't, I conceded. As soon as I saw that they had it, I was like, all right, you got it.
But I think
Like,
not even just against Titan, right? As a player, you should
Yeah.
know when you're beat against any deck,
for sure.
so you don't go to time.
Well, and
if you win game one, I've been in this position. Right, I won game one. Game two's going long. You look at the clock. You're like, I better
yeah.
just concede and try and win game three, right?
Yeah, and I think, like Reed Duke, right? One of the greatest to ever play, he, talks about not ever giving up.
Right.
But I think that to a certain extent, if there are a sequence of draws, like if you have a legitimate sequence of draws that will get you out of something, then yeah, play. But if your opponent is combo killing you in a turn and is just running through their sequence, like,
right.
and you don't have any draws, like, concede. You know what I mean? If you don't have any draws to win, just fold them up, dude. Go to the next one.
Yeah, but sometimes playing to your outs is playing for a draw.
Yeah, and that,
Not purposely. It
Well-
just ends that way.
Well, and I think some people do purposely play to draws, and I think, like, in some instances that's fine, right? Like,
Yeah.
if your tournament success is going to hinge on a draw, and you can play to that, like, and your Titan opponent has to play an extremely, like, convoluted line to get there, and
Right.
you want to make them do it, then
You
make
have
them
that
do
right.
it.
Yeah.
But once they show you a loop, they don't have to re-demonstrate the loop. They
Correct.
just say, I have 1 million aftermath analysts, and I'm going to give them all haste and kill you. Or, you know what I mean?
I don't think also enough people are cognizant of the clock, the timer.
Oh, for sure. I was glad I didn't go to time at all this tournament. So that's like
That's
a bonus for me.
yeah,
'cause it
that's
seems like
that's a first for Joe. High
not
five.
not a first. It's not a first. I think I have had.
Yeah, I had no shot of going to time.
Yeah, playing
Playing
prowess,
prowess, no.
for sure. Well, and Affinity's kind of like that too,
Yeah.
right? It's like
Yeah.
they're either dead or you're out of gas and they're in control of the game.
Yep.
Especially with the version I was playing, it was like I was kind of all in on a nuttier hand, which I think that I was playing like 2 Emeries and no thought casts, which I think is not correct. I think you probably want at least 1 Emery, but I think
You want
you
some
want
number of
some
thought
thought
casts.
casts. Yeah. Yeah, maybe even like thought monitor, like 1 or something. Just
Yeah, just
because it's
something
an
to
artifact.
refill your hand.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think we learned a lot. I think I had some conversations with guys who, we put a lot into this game, playing it, prepping for these events, traveling to them, spending money on hotels, travel, food, whatever, decks, cards last minute, and then we feel cooked after we play Magic for 12 hours on Friday and Saturday, and then like the wheels fall off on Sunday, or we don't day 2, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there were a lot of like high performing players that didn't day 2, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it just
Well, yeah.
happens sometimes.
There
you know?
was almost 1,400 people, so
It's gonna happen.
yeah.
right?
it's
And so, with my kids, it's like this, and I had a conversation with a close friend from SoCal out there, and we were just kind of talking about our personal lives, and like, he was talking about the relationship he had with his girlfriend, and just, trying to work on that, and like where his focus should be, and I was talking about my kids, and I think that what I've decided, kind of after going to these events over the course of the last year and a half or two, is that I haven't gone to some. Like my wife, she got injured, had surgery.
Yep.
I couldn't go. I skipped an entire season, but I just feel like a certain amount of guilt, like missing them. And I think what I've decided is that I'm gonna try to get them into limited, and so that I'm gonna go to like 2 a year, and one of them, I'm gonna have to bring them. So like if I go to 2 or 3 events a year, they're gonna have to come with me for at least two of those. Like I think the agreement that I'm gonna be comfortable with personally is going to one RC or like one major event without the kids. Maybe two if my wife, you know what I mean. And my wife is like, do what you want.
Right.
So she's not putting any pressure.
Right. No,
on me.
this
This
is
is all
all
just self-administered kind of guidelines. But yeah, dude, I don't know.
I don't know, little vacations for the kids, not bad. Get to see the country.
Yeah.
Get to see the inside of an event hall
Right.
for 3 days.
So what do you think, Pete? What I think, one of us day two. I think we had, positive records. Both of us had positive records day one. That's good, right?
Yeah. At the end of it, I was a little disheartened, upset.
Yeah.
Called the wife. I'm like, I'm gonna cry, and she's like, "You're an adult. You can do that." And I was like, "Oh, thanks for the support." No, but
You're an adult. You can do that. But I think what we
But
learned.
yeah, finishing with a positive record, I'll take that. You know,
Yeah.
and try and improve next time, and let's do it again.
Yeah, and I think. So what did we learn? Don't fiddle with shiny objects, right? The continued story.
Yeah, why do they
Just-
keep doing this to us? Releasing
know.
a set a week before the.
Well, yeah, and I think that's. I think if it's obvious, right? If there's going to be some obviously
Right.
broken combo like Breach,
Yeah.
that's different. But I think where it's like some mid-range card that we're like trying to fiddle with, like just leave that to somebody else with more time.
Yeah.
Leave that to the grinders. I don't mind copy pasting some list or trying to get a little bit of info from this SoCal guys who have that time or
Right.
maybe have a little bit of a better read on the
Well,
format.
Well, people say it all the time, right? Take something you're comfortable with, rather than the new broken deck, right?
Right. So, and then, yeah, establish healthy boundaries for your time that you're going to dedicate to the game,
Yeah.
whatever that is. You know what I mean? And you got to rethink what those boundaries are, like with regularity. Like I saw Min win from Jacksonville.
Yep.
He won the RC with Rhinos in Denver.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I'm not playing Magic anymore. He's like, I'm just playing Riftbound, which makes me sad because Min was like a staple of the Florida Magic
RCQs,
community.
yeah, see him all over the state. He's one of the nicest guys in the world too. I saw him. He's super. He seemed happy. So
Yeah. He's like, no, dude, I'm just playing Riftbound. So I mean, good for him. So what, there's those kinds of developments that are gonna happen. Hopefully, we don't lose Pete to Riftbound. He's playing Riftbound. Sell out. No, I'm
what's
just kidding.
Riftbound?
Yeah. But
No, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not leaving Magic though. I love Magic.
Yeah, for sure, and I think that I love it too. I think going forward, we're gonna have some people on. We want to see if maybe we can get like Vinny and or Benji on here to talk about NRG champs.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's coming up.
Talk about their preparation for that.
Is that
Maybe if they're interested.
next month.
It's in like 2 weeks, dude. It's like mid December.
Yeah. Yeah, next
yeah,
month.
next month. Yeah. I guess it's still
Same thing. What do
Thanksgiving.
you
Yeah, sorry. But then I think I want to have. So we should probably have Benji on soon.
Yeah.
Because Benji is kind of like a limited player. That's like his thing. And there's been this release that they're going to do like a limited pro tour circuit of some kind
The
I don't-
limited GP.
No, it's going to be a limited pro tour,
Oh, okay.
like a limited only pro tour. Remember? You
Oh yeah,
showed
yeah.
it to
We
me.
talked about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And I think Benji would be a good guy to have on and talk about that. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we can get one of those folks on. It's going to be standard here for a while though. No more modern talk. So we're going to kind of shift gears
Yep.
into standard talk for the RCs in January and February, right?
Yeah, and this next RCQ season that starts this weekend, right?
Yeah, yeah. So we'll be bringing you that information kind of as it becomes available and what our thoughts are and how we're going to be preparing. I think we're both going to Milwaukee, right? We're not going to go to Portland.
Correct. Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
in Milwaukee. Play Kaido.
Play Kaido. Seems good. I don't know, the Sang thing with Appa and other stuff. We'll just have to see.
Yeah. We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Oh yeah, happy Thanksgiving
It's tomorrow.
tomorrow.
But yeah, so if you want to get a hold of me on social media, you can find me on X at Joe_Mama_77. You can find us on Blue Sky at My Guys Magic Podcasts.
Yep. You
P?
can find me at pdub999 on X/Twitter, or you can follow the show at My Guys Magic Podcast on X also.
And the
and
YouTubes.
YouTube. Our episodes are posted on YouTube at My Guys Magic Podcast.
And yeah, talk to you next week, my guys.
All right, my guys. See you next week.